Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. My name is Andrew, coming to you from beautiful Costa Rica. Today's topic is going to be when the empathy runs out. Think about that for a minute. Guys, if you like the content, please like, subscribe, and share. So when the empathy runs out, what this means is, first of all, what is empathy? Empathy is the ability to place yourself in another individual's shoes and or circumstances and to actually feel for that person and to care about them. Let's put it that way. So when the empathy runs out, what does this mean? This means that if you are on the channel, most likely you are an empath. Maybe not exclusively, but I'm certain you have a high level of empathy. Perhaps you even think of yourself as an empath. I certainly do, and I have my whole life, and I'm proud of it. It's a superpower. Did I believe empathy was a superpower when I was younger? No, I really didn't. Did I know that I felt emotions and could feel the pulse of the room just from walking into it, and I could sense where people were without even really knowing them? Yeah, I did, and I still do today. And as a matter of fact, my empathy, it has been heightened so much so over the last bunch of years, let's put it that way, that I can now sense much more than I did before. But when the empathy runs out, what happens? It means that you have now discovered exactly who you are, just like me. And that means that you are empathetic, but you are not empathetic to a fault. In other words, you are not, like I mentioned on the channel so often, you're not a people pleaser, you're not a yes person. You're not giving of yourself to individuals when your cup is not full. In other words, when you're not strong enough, because now you understand that you are the priority, that you come first, second, and third, and that you need to have your cup full. Like on the channel, I mentioned frequently, use the airplane analogy. You're in an airplane and there's turbulence and the mask drops from above the ceiling. You have to put that mask on yourself first before you can help other individuals. Perhaps before the previous version of you, perhaps you would help other individuals before helping yourself. That is not the path. That is not what I do any longer. And believe me, I did it for most of my life. I don't do that any longer. However, I do contribute as much as I possibly can to this place called Earth. And I help out whenever I feel it necessary and or I can contribute if my cup is full. Examples, there are many times when I perhaps am not feeling as strong as I should be. I'm talking mentally, emotionally, spiritually, intellectually, every way possible. And then I dial it back and I take a me day or some time for me, recharge my battery, and I get right back to it. Because remember, you can't wear yourself down. You need to eat, you need to sleep, and you need to be productive. And of course you need hobbies and there are other things you need. But what I'm suggesting is you can't continue to give to a fault. And because when you did that, that's most likely how you entered the narcissistic relationship, because you put the narcissist ahead of yourself. You certainly did it if you got ensnared in the narcissistic relationship, post-love bomb / euphoric stage, because that's when you were in the devaluation stage and that's when you were working as hard as you possibly could for the narcissist to the detriment of yourself. And you know it. Drop comments below if you know exactly what I'm talking about, because that's what happened. Now, having said that, post-narcissistic relationship, my hope is that you are healing and or have healed, or you're putting yourself back together in time, in your time, and you're getting the wisdom, the education from channels like mine and many others. And again, thank you very much for being here. And you're understanding that your empathy, it was weaponized against you. It really was. So if you consider yourself an empath like I do, I certainly 100% do, and like I said, I always have. Was my empathy weaponized against me? Absolutely, 100%. Why? Because I was the nice guy. I was the person that would help to a fault. I was the person that would drive through rainstorms and pay bills when my credit card debt was mounting up when I never had credit card debt before. I was the person that would do virtually anything, including going to the store 2, 3, 4 times when I bought the wrong jar of peanut butter or miscellaneous items that were or were not on the alleged list, things like that. But I did my best, and I continue to do my best each and every day, and my hope is you do the same. The difference between when you are in the narcissistic relationship and when you are out and you come through the fire and rise through the ashes like a phoenix, and you are now the third version of yourself, the best version of yourself, you're galvanized, but you understand that, yeah, you are still an empath. You can't change that even if you wanted to. And I'll talk about that in a minute. Empathy is what perhaps most of what your feelings and expressions is built upon, meaning you are empathetic. Let's say an example, maybe you cry at certain movies, if you watch movies, or if you're watching Netflix or things like that. But maybe you also laugh and you get excited when you haven't seen a long lost friend, and you embrace them and love them, and it's just beautiful. You see, you're authentic, you're genuine, which is the exact opposite of the narcissist. Remember, the narcissist wore and or wears a mask to manipulate people, to fit in, to float under the cloak and dagger, to wear the sheep's clothing. They're a wolf in sheep's clothing, things like that. Not all the time, but many times. But they knew that you were an empath, and that the narcissist, when you first met them, or perhaps they were a sibling or a family member, then they knew you even better because they grew up with you or raised you. The thing is, the narcissist knew who you were, and they knew who you were many times before even you knew who you were. Example, many times I speak with people and they didn't even realize what empathy was, or that they are an empath. And it's fine, it's great. We all learn at different speeds and different rates. We don't all, just because you know something doesn't mean another individual knows the same thing. And certainly their experiences are different than yours. That's why we share wisdom, we share education, and we share our experiences with each other. And drop comments below if you know what I'm talking about. But your empathy was weaponized against you, I can assure you, if you are an empath and you were taken advantage of. Perhaps you experienced financial abuse, future faking, gaslighting, stonewalling, the silent treatment, rage fits, on, blame shifting. The flying monkeys are other people that I'll mention briefly in this video. There are other people that perhaps saw you as a weak individual. Why? Well, most likely because the smear campaign was underway well before you even knew what it was, but most likely also because they saw you as a giving individual, the person that would do all the things that was expected of you. But you went above and beyond the call of duty, didn't you? Of course you did. That's why you can hold your head high post-narcissistic relationship, because you know you gave everything you had. And despite being kicked when you were down, despite the smear campaign, despite all the financial abuse, despite all of the rage fits and, let's say, not so good experiences you had, you're here, you made it, and you haven't done anything other than continue to be an empath. But when the empathy runs out, here's exactly what the thumbnail means. What it means is you no longer give to a fault. You now save your empathy for those who deserve it, and you empathize with people and or circumstances and or situations when it is appropriate for you, not for another individual. Example, it's Friday night. The same old person calls you up at about 8 o'clock at night and they want to consume 2, 3, 4 hours of your time on the phone because they have issues at work, or their romantic interest isn't panning out, or because they bought the wrong paint color for the wall downstairs in the basement. Things like this. And they get accustomed to you being their sounding board and you listening to them for upwards of 1, 2, 3, 4 hours, whatever it is. And it's Friday night and you're like, oh my goodness, I just really want to read a book. That's what you want to do. And the phone rings. Should you get it? I don't know. But should you be on the phone with somebody who is just using you as a sounding board? No, you shouldn't. Not even for 1 minute. You should say, hey, how you doing? Oh, I'm sorry you're having some difficult times. I'm just about to start chapter, whatever it is of the book. And God bless you. I'll talk to you later. That's what you should do. Now, I'm not saying not be there for other individuals. I'm saying use your empathy to be there for people who care about you and who will actually give you what you need when you're experiencing times of need. Notice what I just said there. When you are in times of need. When you were discarded and or the relationship ended, were people there for you? Maybe. Were there as many people there for you as you thought would be there for you? Most certainly not. You see, all those people disappeared. All the people that were allegedly your friends and or perhaps even family members who claimed that they loved you or cared about you or you're such a good person, things like that. No, they disappeared. Why? Not only because of the smear campaign, but because they just never cared and they showed you their true being. So, are we upset with those people? No. Did it hurt when they didn't support us? Absolutely. Are we past that? I am. My hope is you are too. But the point is your empathy doesn't go to those kind of individuals any longer. It just doesn't. And it's not saying anything negative or derogatory. What it's saying is when the empathy runs out, that means you understand that you are the priority and you have to save your time, your energy, and your efforts for yourself. And again, when your cup is full or when you want to contribute and help others out, you do so. Maybe you're donating your time. Maybe you're teaching a class or taking a class, or reading a book or writing a book. Maybe you're starting a business. Maybe you found love again. Maybe you're striking up some new friendships. Maybe you've moved. Maybe you started a new career. Who knows what you've done? My point is your empathy is a beautiful thing. Not everyone is an empath. And I will tell you right now, many people on the planet still think empathy or an empath is a weak individual. It's not. It's absolutely astounding being an empath. If you're an empath, you're fortunate, you're blessed, you're beautiful. Now, is an empath any better than anybody else? Absolutely not. We're all human beings. We should all be treated equally. That's how I look at it. But empathy it's a superpower. It sincerely is. And I know I use that word superpower a lot on the channel, but it's true. You see, empathy is something that many people don't possess. It's something that many people, i.e. the narcissist, want to take away from you. They want to smother it, and they want you not to shine and not be the best version of yourself. It's exactly what they did in the devaluation stage, wasn't it? Exactly. They had you stop doing the things you love to do, stopped enjoying your hobbies, stopped spending time with your friends, isolating you from your family, having you doubt all your relationships in the past or all the things you did. Maybe they told you you weren't earning enough money. Maybe they told you your hair color wasn't good enough. Maybe they told you the clothes you're wearing are outdated. Whatever it was, the narcissist was literally picking on you. They were being the bully and the coward that they are. And so despite all that, when you were in the relationship, you continued to work for the narcissist. But now post-narcissistic relationship, there's no empathy for the narcissist. There's no empathy for anyone who doesn't have your best interest at heart. It doesn't matter if you're a blood relative or not. The truth of the matter is, human beings are human beings, and many times people have their own best interest at heart. They don't care about other individuals, whether you are a blood relative or not. I know that's a tough pill to swallow, but it's reality. It's real. So when the empathy runs out, that doesn't mean don't be an empath or don't be kind or loving. Absolutely not. It just means you now have boundaries. You can say the strongest word in the English language, which is no. And you're not a people pleaser. You're not going to be there on a Friday night as a sounding board for some other individual. You're the priority. You're spending your time wisely. You're learning. You're growing. You're teaching if you can. But most of all, you're becoming the best version of yourself possible. So guys, before I close the video out, I want to let you know, empathy is a special characteristic. If you have it, God bless you. If you have a lot of it, you're amazing. And if you're proud of it, like I am, and you wear it like a badge of honor, and you always do your best to do the right thing, God bless you. So guys, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it from beautiful Costa Rica. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great evening. Stay true, stay blessed. Continue to become awakened and aware, and understand empathy is a superpower. If not everyone has it, they really sincerely don't. So when the empathy runs out, it doesn't mean stop being an empath or stop being empathetic. It just means save it for those that can use it. It's probably the best way I can say that. Guys, no matter where you are on the planet, you are not alone. Remember that. I love you. Have a great evening, and I will talk to you tomorrow. All right. Go empaths. I love you guys. Have a great night. Bye.